Hi guys, GameTalk Ajax Sparta 2-1. Kabir, you watched the game. I watched the game. We keep winning. It's. I mean, we're laughing, we're smiling, but honestly, it was not a good game.
No, I completely agree. I think it followed the trend from our previous 5-6 games where we're starting off very slowly. We're not starting with the right kind of intensity. And the mindset seems to be totally wrong. So I don't know what's happening, why we're entering games, especially at this period in the season where we should really be focused in being on right from the first blow of the whistle. For some reason, we're not entering with the right mentality, but we're winning. And I think that's the most important thing. I think when you look back at the end of the season and we've got the schaal in our hands, I think no one's going to talk about how we won games, but we're there for a reason because we got the 3 points. Yeah. And, to be honest with you, I think, of course, we'd all love to play the right way and get 3 points with beautiful football. But also, if we can win dirty and win ugly, then I'm also happy. So not completely content, but also not too disappointed right now.
Yeah, look, you know how the Ajax fans are and how we are. We're pretty much critical about Ajax, how they should play. We always want beautiful football and all these kind of things. I do agree with you, but the thing that is a bit worrying for me. We have a cup final next week against PSV, and our form seems a little bit. I mean, again, we're winning. You're right, but we have been like this for weeks now, and we pull off at the end. We get those 3 points. But I had Ajax for me counting how many games. And I think this is the 5th game in which we are basically stumbling and maybe losing points against other teams in the league. Let's be honest, it's the Dutch eredivisie league. I'm not playing down on these teams, but if you look at our squad, we should be able to do more. Now, my question to you is, because at the start you said you don't know exactly what it is, why we're playing the way we're playing. Do you think there's too much changes right now? We're missing a couple of key players. I mean, today we play with a completely new right side, with Timber and Berghuis. Or do you think this is kind of an excuse? How do you see it?
No, I think that there is an element of truth to that. I think that regardless of which club you're at, regardless of the quality of players that you have at your disposal, whenever the starting 11 gets pulled out for whatever reason due to injury or suspension or whatever, there's always going to be a difference in quality. There's always going to be a difference in the dynamic between the players. That's natural. So I think that has an impact. But I also think you make a very good point. Let's not forget, this is the eredivisie we're talking about. These are clubs that are coming to the Johan Cruyff Arena, or we're going to them, and we're struggling with at the start. And that shouldn't be the case, because even our B team or our reserve players that are coming in now, they should still be good enough to deal with the likes of Sparta Rotterdam and Groningen and Go Ahead Eagles and all these clubs that we've struggled with. So I don't buy that too much, to be honest with you. I do think that there's something about not going into the matches with the right level or the right intensity or the right mentality. And that's purely to do with Ajax. If we're losing matches or we're dropping points in the Eredivisie, it's because of ourselves. It's 9 times out of 10, it's because of ourselves. It's not because of the opposition. So that's something that needs to be addressed, because look, we started the second half incredibly well. So if we go in with that intensity and that mindset at the start of the match, then, you're leading 2-3-0 at halftime, and it's a much easier game. It's you can play things out in a much more relaxed manner, and you take that confidence with you in next matches. So I think there is an element of it about not playing in our strongest 11, but I don't buy that as that big a distraction or that big a cause for why we're stumbling right now.
True. Look, one of the reasons why we won this game eventually, because we were conceding, of course, we're 1 goal. And that goal we have to talk about, Onana. Your thoughts in general, about that goal, but in general about Onana. What's your point of view on this? Because I don't know if you picked up on the ESPN post-match interview. Maybe you can touch upon that separately, but in general, he's not been in great form, and I'm being very nice in words right now. And I know it's almost at the end of the season, and goalkeepers are very, it's very, how do you call it, a sensitive case. You don't really just pull them out and put somebody else in. It's not like you can do that with the other field players. Where do you stand? Because he is costing us easy goals. You cannot deny that right now.
Yeah. Look, where I stand on it is pretty clear right now. I'm done with him. Look, he has had some glorious years with us. He's developed into a world-class keeper, or at least prior to the whole doping scandal, he was certainly, I would say top 10 keeper in Europe, in the world. But the whole attitude stinks after this whole doping scandal coming back into the team. We were under. We were in such a great flow defensively, right? When we had Pasveer in goal, and I think we were on course to break a league record in terms of the least amount of goals conceded. And then, unfortunately, Pasveer gets injured, Horta gets injured, ahead of the Benfica match, and Onana comes back, and we've conceded 10 goals in the last 6 games, I believe. I mean, that's ridiculous. There's such a difference. And, just watching Onana play, he's clearly not bothered. It doesn't bother him. He signed a contract with Inter Milan. He that interview that he gave today after the match, I mean, that's so disrespectful, right? He needs to understand that Ajax made him who he is. He left Barcelona as a struggling reserve team keeper there, came here, got his opportunity. Okay, fine. He made the most of it. He saved us a lot of points. He probably won us quite a few matches. But this stinks. I don't understand where this is coming from. And it's showing in his performances. And to just sort of stay in a post-match interview, shrug your shoulders and say, if they cry, let them cry. If they sing, let them sing. I don't give a shit. That is frankly so bad that I will happily, along with many other Ajax fans, wrap him up right now, put a bow on it, and hand deliver him to Inter Milan. Because personally, I hope that this was the last time that we've ever seen him in an Ajax shirt.
I asked Ajax this question, right? I'm going to ask you this question. Would Horter do any worse?
I don't think so. I mean, really, to be honest, no. Because if you bring Horter into the team, you know that he's going to give 100%. You know that he's going to be in there to try and prove a point. He wants to be showing the best of himself. Onana, he's at the completely different end of that spectrum. He's been there, done that with Ajax. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to prove it to anyone. He doesn't feel like he has to. But that's not a good thing for us. Okay, we got away with it today. We got away with it in a few of the other league games. But it's a pattern. Every single game that he has been involved in since coming back, he has costed us either points or a goal. And, it has to stop now. To be honest, I think the most refreshing thing was when I saw Martin Stekelenburg on the bench. I thought, can we have a little change at halftime and get Stekelenburg back on, regardless of his fitness levels? But, it has to stop. And, Erik ten Hag, I also understand why he's trying to protect him. But coming out with stuff like, in potential, he's still our number one, this, that, the other, that's disrespectful to the other guys in the team that are putting in 100%, because Onana's clearly not.
Yeah, look, that's clear. Your opinion is clear about that. I wanna touch upon one last thing. The pivotal moment for me, maybe for you as well, was the first goal that we made, because it brought us back in the game. And I want to highlight 2 players that basically were pivotal also for that goal. First, I think Taylor was the one that quickly gave that ball, and he came in for Tagliafico. I want your opinion about how he came in. What do you think his performance was? And of course, your man of the match, Davy Klaassen. And I want you also to explain why Davy Klaassen is your man of the match, because I spoke with Ajax earlier. He had a different view on Klaassen, and particularly what he said is like, this is a typical Klaassen game. He doesn't play remarkably. He doesn't do anything extra. He doesn't do anything like you think like, okay, this is really the player of the team. He works hard. He always works hard, but he doesn't really contribute a lot when we have the possession, when we have ball possession. But at the end of the day, we know he always scores or is pivotal. So first on Taylor, second on Klaassen.
No, I thought it was a very good tactical substitution. I mean, I know it was a forced substitution, but I think bringing Taylor in and making Blind play at left back and Taylor in midfield was great to see, because I think Taylor actually played with a lot of freedom. There was a lot of play that was directed through him. You could see that he clearly is in very good form, bringing that form over from young Ajax straight to Ajax. I thought he had a magnificent game, actually. I think I actually gave him a pretty high rating. I thought that he, there was a lot of link up via him. He was very comfortable on the ball. He always had the right sort of option in mind. And like you said, I think, he provided the 4 assist in relation to the goal. And it was Mr. 1-0. Well, obviously it was 1-1 this time, but, Davy Klaassen doing it again. I understand why people feel that, he doesn't sort of stand out, but I also don't think that you need to have, I don't think every single player in your team needs to stand out. You need to have different types of characters in your team. And I'll tell you why I gave him the man of the match today, because it was a very sluggish first half performance. We were, behind the 8 ball. And it needed that one spark, that one bit of brilliance, or someone to stand up to just change the whole momentum. And it was Davy Klaassen, and he does it. He does it so often. There's a pattern. It's not luck anymore.
Groningen, same.
It's the same. He's the guy that you now can start to count on a lot more to actually put his hand up when the chips are down. So 100%. I mean, you're going to get 100% work ethic. You're going to get intelligence on the pitch. You're going to get someone who's technically very good. Sure, he's not going to ghost pass players. He's not going to give you that nice little through ball, or the cross passes or whatnot. But he's always a solid. He in my eyes, he never scores less than a 7. So super important goal for us today. Changed the whole momentum, gave us the belief, and we took the 3 points with us.
And he shows his value every single time, basically.
Every single time.
All right. Any final thoughts on maybe this game, or maybe moving forward to the next game next week against PSV in the Dutch Cup final?
Yeah, look, I think that we need to definitely start off with a completely different mindset against PSV. I think PSV are also in, okay, sure, they had that draw against FC Twente, but then they had a very good performance against Leicester City. I think that they're going to be really up for it. This is a chance for them to realistically win a very sort of gettable trophy for them, especially as it's Roger Smith's last season before he leaves. So they'll be very motivated. We know how dangerous they can be. The Johan Cruijffschaal, they blew us away. So we need to be ready right from the first whistle. But I do believe that we will be able to raise our level for that. As we have seen this season, that when it really matters domestically, then we do stand up. And I do think that we'll be up for the fight against PSV, but we have to come out the blocks like how we did at the second half today. But I do have full belief that we'll do that. And yeah, I just think that, moving forward, I think that we just need to try and approach each match like it is a final. I know that all the players are saying that in the interviews, but they need to show it. If you're saying that each match is a final, but you start like how you did today, you'll get away with it against Sparta Rotterdam. But we still need to play AZ. We still need to play Vitesse. These are tough away games. If you're going to play like today, how you did there, there's no guarantee for coming away with 3 points or even 1 point. So this is what I would say that the most important takeaway from today is, forget about it. You showed character, you got the 3 points, but now you move on and you try and learn from it, and you really start from a different level right from the first whistle next time around.